It's in the low 30s. It got to the freezing point overnight. It's probably about 34, 35 right now. For me, it's freezing. I'm not used to the cold temperatures. So I'm gonna do dry hiking today because I'd get hypothermia if I did swamp hiking today. But what's strange, I came across a couple of hikers already. I'm like, man, it's freezing. It's Florida. What are these people doing getting up early in the cold weather? It was kind of neat to talk to a couple of people that we shared stories about places we've been and places to hike and things like that. So that was kind of a good way to start the day. So now I'm heading to the river trail to do some hiking along the Withlacoochee River. Try to warm up a little bit. Little 76 disco with Peter Lemongello out on the hiking trail. That'll get you dancing. You can see how jungly it is here on the river trail, despite the more Arctic-like weather. But, ooh, man, it's cold out here. But you wouldn't know it by all the vegetation. It's winter time. It's a time for rest. And even in the swamp needs to rest too. It's the dry season right now. This is normally filled up with swamp water. Whoa! You gotta watch out for those cypress knees. They're all over here, as you can see. But you can see the high water marks about right here. But it's usually averages probably about here. It's nice and dry right now. But it'll come back once the late spring and summer rains come back. There's the sun rising up above the Withlacoochee River. That is a tomato, a wild tomato growing out here in the woods. So what that tells me is this is an area that does have a lot of old Native American settlements. And whenever you see orange trees or other types of fruits around, those are probably leftovers from when there was mounds and settlements in this region. So that's pretty interesting to see. Let's see what other interesting things we can find out here on the Riverwalk on this freezing last day of the year in Florida. Coming down here to the river's edge. Gotta make sure I don't trip over all these cypress knees. You can see it's pretty cold because there's steam coming up off the river. It's a nice and quiet morning though. Here's a pretty big freshwater snail shell. That's a big part of an important part of the diet for animals, and I'm sure back in the pre-Columbian days for the Native American cultures that lived here as well. You may not be able to see it here in the video, but there is a dramatic change in elevation, which tells me this could have been Indian midden. And I've seen a lot of shells, old, almost fossilized shells here, which means this is what it probably was. See, like right here, here's like an old shell. So where I'm standing was probably an Indian midden. That's pretty neat to see. And remember, all these sites are federally protected. Don't take anything from them. Just appreciate it, the history and the natural wonder of it. And here we go. One of the many orange trees you'll find in the woods. Just about perfect for picking. I'm going to leave it for the wildlife. They need it more than I do. Well, it's kind of nice to be spending the last day of the year out hiking in the woods. It's a good way to end the year. I'm looking forward to new adventures in the coming year, and hanging out and having new adventures with my boys, Campfire Steve and Swamp Camper. It's all good medicine. Well, there have been quite a cast of characters visiting this place recently. Huh. Very interesting.